I helped my neighbor renovate her kitchen, no pay, just kindness. A month later, I got sued for faulty labor. She claimed her oven caught fire because of my unlicensed work, then showed photos of a burned wall. But I'd never even touched the oven. I thought I was losing my mind, until her contractor confessed she'd asked him to light the fire on purpose for insurance money. And blame it on me. He showed me texts that said, "He's too nice to fight it." I'm Alan. 48. Live in Lubbock, Texas. I work part-time at a hardware store and do handyman jobs on the side. Not licensed, never claimed to be. I just know how to fix stuff. Grew up doing it. About 7 months ago, a woman named Mara moved in next door. Early 40s, real friendly, always smiling. She told me it was just her and her teenage son Tyler. No husband around. I felt bad for her, honestly. She'd bring me cookies, invite me over for coffee, that kind of thing. After a couple of months, she asked if I could help fix her kitchen cabinets. Said she couldn't afford a real contractor. I said sure. No charge. Helping neighbors is just what you do. At first, it was small stuff. Tightening hinges. Replacing broken handles. But then it turned into more. She needed the sink fixed. Then she asked about putting up a new backsplash. Then her countertops. Then painting the walls. It turned into a full kitchen makeover over about 6 weekends. And let me be clear. I never touched her oven. I didn't move it. Didn't unplug it. Didn't even go near the wiring. All I did was surface work, carpentry, tile, paint. That's it. Fast forward to January. One day I'm at work, and some guy shows up with a manila envelope. I open it and feel my stomach drop. Mara was suing me. She claimed the unlicensed work I did caused her oven to malfunction, which caused a fire in her kitchen. She had pictures attached. Her kitchen wall, all blackened and scorched behind the oven. Charred cabinets. Melted outlets. She was demanding thousands. Claiming trauma. Claiming her teenage son was suffering emotionally from the near-death experience. I honestly thought I was going crazy. I kept thinking, did I somehow cause this? Could something I did have triggered an electrical problem? Did I miss something? I couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Started looking up bankruptcy attorneys because there was no way I could pay what she was asking. No way I could afford a drawn-out court fight either. Then, like some miracle, the truth crawled out of the shadows. A contractor named Danny came into the hardware store one morning. I knew Danny a little. We talked about tools now and then. I never had a problem with him. He pulled me aside and said, real quiet, "I gotta talk to you, man. It's important." We went out back by the dumpsters. Danny looked like he hadn't slept in days. He said Mara had hired him a few weeks before the fire to do some insurance work. Said she had a plan to get a brand new kitchen. And the plan involved blaming me. He pulled out his phone. Showed me text messages from Mara. Real texts. Time-stamped. Set a small fire behind the oven. Make it look like bad handyman work. He's too nice to fight it. I stared at the screen. I could barely breathe. This woman had planned the whole thing. She set me up. Danny said he didn't light the fire himself. He said Mara found someone else. But he knew about it. He felt guilty because he'd taken other small jobs from her where she fudged insurance claims. Fake leaks. Fake electrical issues. He said he was willing to come clean. Said he'd write a sworn statement. Even testify if it went to court. That's when I realized I couldn't just roll over. I had to fight back. Not just to save myself, but to burn her entire lie to the ground. I found a tough-as-nails lawyer named Mr. Reese. Middle-aged guy who'd been practicing in Lubbock for 25 years. No shiny suits, no fake smiles. Just a thick file of cases he'd won. I told him everything. Showed him the texts Danny gave me. He just nodded real slow and said, Son, we're about to make her wish she never heard your name. We filed a countersuit immediately. Fraud. Defamation. Emotional distress. Malicious prosecution. And we subpoenaed Danny's testimony officially. Now Mara couldn't shut him up even if she wanted to. Danny wasn't the only one she tricked. Mr. Reese dug deep. Turns out Mara had a history of small, accidental insurance claims in 2 other towns she'd lived in before moving to Lubbock. Nothing big enough to trigger criminal charges. Just enough to get a new bathroom here, a new roof there. Always moving just before neighbors got suspicious. We got sworn statements from 2 of her old landlords. Both said strange accidents happened when she lived there: kitchen fire from faulty outlets, burst pipes, causing water damage right before she moved out. It was a pattern. And we had her nailed. Mara kept doubling down at first. She posted on Facebook about how dangerous unlicensed workers were. She posted about how she and her son were lucky to be alive. She even tried to start a GoFundMe for fire recovery costs. It backfired fast. Once the subpoenas hit, people started asking questions. The GoFundMe dried up. Her Facebook page turned into a ghost town. Word spreads fast in a town like Lubbock. Mara didn't go down easy. After we hit her with the countersuit, her lawyer tried to negotiate. They sent a letter offering to drop her lawsuit if I agreed not to sue her back. Mr. Reese laughed so hard reading that letter, he had to wipe his eyes. He told me, "When a snake offers peace, it's because their back is against the wall." We refused. We wanted blood. Out of nowhere, Mara went to the local news station. Yeah. The damn news. They ran a tiny segment on her, all emotional, standing outside her burned kitchen, talking about how unlicensed contractors ruin lives. She even had Tyler with her, standing off to the side, looking miserable. She fed the reporters some garbage story about how she hired a local handyman out of desperation, and how he nearly cost her family their lives. I saw it air live while eating dinner. I was so mad I nearly snapped the fork in half. Mr. Reese called me 5 minutes later. Calm as hell. Said, "Let her talk. Every word she says is another rope around her neck. Because guess what? She never mentioned in the interview that the fire was staged." She had no idea we had Danny lined up, sworn in, ready to drop the hammer. And better yet, the news report became evidence of her continued defamation. About 3 weeks before the first court hearing, Tyler, her teenage son, showed up at my house. It was late. Dark out. I heard a knock on the door and thought maybe it was a package. But there he was, this skinny, nervous kid, standing on my porch with his hands stuffed in his hoodie. He looked like he was about to cry. He said, real quiet, "I'm sorry about all this." I stepped outside. I didn't want him getting chewed out later if Mara saw him talking to me. Tyler told me everything. Mara made him help stage the fire. She told him to say it was an accident if anybody asked. She made him stay out of the kitchen while her friend messed with the oven's wiring to cause a short. He said he hated it. Said he knew it was wrong. But he was scared because his mom threatened to send him to live with his deadbeat dad if he didn't play along. I thanked him. Told him he was brave for coming. Then I called Mr. Reese. You can imagine how hard he smiled hearing that. Now we had 2 witnesses. Remember the friend who actually messed with the oven? Well, he got scared too. When he heard there were subpoenas flying and real fraud charges getting prepped, he came clean to the DA's office. Offered full cooperation in exchange for immunity. He gave them all the details. How Mara promised to split the insurance money, how she showed him pictures from old insurance jobs she'd pulled in the past, how she laughed about getting the stupid neighbor to take the fall. He even had a few text messages Mara had sent him, bragging about how easy it would be. At that point, Mara's house of cards wasn't just falling. It was burning down faster than her fake kitchen fire. Meanwhile, I still had to deal with the whispers. Some folks in town still believed her. Some didn't want to get involved. Others kept their distance like I was radioactive. It hurt more than I expected. Made me realize just how easy it is to ruin someone's life with a few lies. But I didn't back down. I showed up to work every day. Held my head up. Kept my boots planted. Because I knew what was coming. About a week before the court date, Mara's new lawyer, because she fired the first one, reached out to Mr. Reese. They made a confidential settlement offer. Basically, Mara would drop everything, her lawsuit, her claims, her social media garbage, and pay me $5,000 if I agreed to drop my countersuit and sign a gag order never to talk about her again. $5,000. After she almost wrecked my life. After months of hell. After making me think I was going to lose my house. It was almost insulting. Mr. Reese asked me straight up. You want to take it? It's your choice. But if you want my opinion, she deserves worse. I didn't even have to think about it. We go to court. He nodded once real slow. Good. 3 days before court, Mara tried to file a restraining order against me. Said she was terrified of me. Said I had threatened her. Said she couldn't sleep because she thought I'd retaliate violently. All lies. I hadn't even spoken to her since the day she served me. Mr. Reese crushed that move in about 2 hours. He had phone records, text logs, security footage from the hardware store showing my locations during every time she claimed harassment. It backfired. Now the judge wasn't just annoyed with Mara. She was furious. Judges in Lubbock don't like it when you waste their time with fake abuse claims. It damages real victims, and the judges know it. I won't lie. I barely slept the night before. I kept thinking somehow, someway, Mara would wiggle out of it. I showed up in a clean shirt and tie. Mara showed up wearing a neck brace and acting like she could barely walk. I almost laughed out loud. The courtroom was small. Only a few rows of benches. Maybe a dozen people there. It started simple. Opening statements. Review of the documents. Photos of the kitchen fire. Photos of my work, which, by the way, looked solid as hell. Then Danny testified. Then Tyler. Then the oven fixer guy. One by one, the truth came out like buckets of cold water. Mara tried to object. Tried to interrupt. Her lawyer tried to spin it. Didn't work. When Tyler took the stand, he broke down halfway through. Started crying hard. The judge had to call a 5-minute break so he could calm down. When he came back, he said, "I'm sorry. I love my mom. But I can't lie anymore. She told me to help her do it. She said Mr. Allen was old and dumb and wouldn't figure it out." Hearing that hit me harder than I thought it would. It wasn't anger. It was sadness. That poor kid got dragged into her garbage because she was too selfish to be a decent human being. The judge didn't even hide how disgusted she was by the end. She asked Mara's lawyer if he had any defense. He mumbled something about mental health issues and emotional strain. The judge didn't care. And just like that, the trial was over. The judge ruled Mara's lawsuit dismissed with prejudice. She can't ever refile. I was awarded full legal costs plus additional damages for defamation, emotional distress, and fraud plus punitive damages to make an example out of her. It added up to 6 figures. Not retire forever money. But never worry about a bill again. Money. And Mara? The judge referred her case to the district attorney for insurance fraud and child endangerment, because she involved Tyler. After the judge dropped the hammer on her, Mara just sat there, stunned. Neck brace hanging crooked. Eyes darting around like she was trying to find an escape. There wasn't one. Within a week, her insurance company dropped her. The district attorney's office opened a criminal investigation. Tyler's dad filed for emergency custody, and he got it. The kid moved out of her house before she could even realize what hit her. She lost him. She lost her insurance payout. She lost her house, because the mortgage company called in her loan after the insurance cancellation. She lost her reputation. All because she couldn't just accept kindness without trying to twist it. I got paid out through her bond and assets after months of grinding court paperwork. It wasn't easy. I had to fight for every penny because she tried to hide some of her money, but Mr. Reese and his team were like bloodhounds. They found everything. I used part of the settlement to finally fix up my own house, properly, no cutting corners. Got a brand new kitchen. Got my truck fixed up too. And I made a donation in Tyler's name to a local charity that helps kids stuck between bad parents. Mara tried to start over in another town about 3 hours away. Didn't last long. Word traveled with her. Small towns talk. Contractors, real estate agents, even local churches, they all heard about what she pulled. Last I heard, she was living in a crappy apartment, working some dead-end telemarketing job, no friends, no family, no prospects. For a long time, I thought about revenge like it meant striking back hard. Hurting them worse than they hurt you. But real revenge? It's living better than they ever will. It's watching them drown in the mess they made while you stand on solid ground. Maybe I was too trusting. Maybe I thought kindness couldn't ever be used as a weapon. I learned. It cost me a lot, money, sleep, trust in people, but I learned. And now? I still help people. But I'm smarter about it. I get things in writing. I protect myself. Because no good deed should ever be a weapon for someone else.